Hi, it's Dorothy Guining with Scrapbooking Quebec. I'm so happy to be here today participating in the Mercy Tiara 27-Day Challenge Summer Inspiration YouTube Hop. I'm going to be sharing with you my take on this sketch, which is one of many sketches for the summer challenges on that Facebook group, and I'll link up the group below in case you're unaware of it. And I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions with measurements for what I'm doing here today. But keep in mind, sketches are just jumping off points, so you can use this sketch however you want, or you can follow along with me too. So I'm going to be flipping at 90 degrees, and my photos are going to be horizontal as opposed to vertical, and I'm using 3 photos instead of 4. And here's the material I'm using, and most of it comes from the Maggie Holmes Sunny Days collection. And I did some preparation in advance. I cut some paper and I fussy cut some flowers from that yellow and pink floral paper. Now what I'm going to do is set up my foundation page. And the first thing I'm going to say is all of that red paper is going to be covered up. What I'm doing here now is adhering 2 narrow strips of paper, one to the left and one to the right. And once I have that down, I'm going to adhere white cardstock on top of it. And the white cardstock measures 10 inches by 12 inches. But keep in mind, all measurements will be written on the screen as I adhere the pieces to the page. I'm fully aware that I could have easily used a 12 by 12 white cardstock and adhered 2 narrow strips to each side, but for some reason I like the look of having the borders peek out from underneath the foundation page. Now in a minute I'm going to have a peek at the sketch and I'm going to look at it and I'm going to start building a layered cluster in the middle. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that Facebook group. Basically this summer there's a whole bunch of different challenges taking place. There's a bunch of sketches, there's bingo, there's other things as well, and you have until September 2nd to participate at midnight. So make sure you check them out. There's lots of fun inspiration out there. And also, this is a YouTube hop, so don't forget to check out all the other YouTubers. They're listed below. Now I'm going to get back to my page here. So what I'm going to do is create 3 tags to place my photos on. And to do this, I take this piece of black cardstock, I trim one corner, I use the trimmed corner as a guide to use my pencil and draw a line on the other side because I want both angled corners to be equal, and then I punch a hole in the middle, and that creates a perfect travel tag. Now I did 2 in advance, and what I'm doing is using one tag with the hole in it as a guide to punch the holes in the other 2 tags. Now what I'm doing is creating reinforcers for these tags. So those are scraps left over from when I fussy cut those pink flowers, and all I'm doing is punching a hole with a hole punch and then punching a circle around it with a 1/2 inch circle punch, and that gives me a perfect little ring, perfect for reinforcers on a tag. And now what I'm going to do is adhere the photos to these tags. You're going to notice by accident I end up adhering one photo backwards, but that was an easy fix because the adhesive I'm using gives me a little bit of wiggle room. It's permanent, but I have a little bit of time to move it around, so I'm quite happy about it in this case. Now what I'm doing is adding some twine to these 3 tags. That's from Lawn Fawn. I really like that twine, by the way. It's economical, it lasts forever, and it works really, really well. Anyway, I'm going to adhere these 3 tags to this mini foundation, this mini layered foundation for the middle. And I have a look at the sketch, and on the sketch there's like this notebook paper layered, and for me it's going to be on the bottom left. So I have that border punch by Creative Memories that creates a notebook border. So I cut that with that pale pink paper, and I cut that at about 4 inches and put it at the bottom left, and I end up taking another bit, I think that measures about 3 inches, and I put it at the top right because that's going to be where my embellishment clusters are, and I always like to start my embellishment clusters with larger foundation pieces, so that's perfect. Now what I'm going to do is do some stamping on that white paper before adhering this mini foundation to the middle. So that's a stamp set by Stampin' Up! Called Gallery Grunge. It's a fairly new stamp set. It's in the catalog now. And it's my first time using it, and I actually really like it. And I'm using Basic Gray ink by Stampin' Up! And I'm really happy I went with that as opposed to the black ink, because there's black on the page, but I like that kind of faded look of the Basic Gray. So I'm really happy with my choice here. And once that's down, I did it in 3 spots, I'm going to play around a bit with clusters. So I take this piece of paper and I'm going to cut 2 circles. And what I'm using are dies from Stampin' Up! Called Stitched Shapes. So basically it cuts out basic shapes with some stitching around the edges. I really like those too. And I cut 2 circles out in 2 different sizes. So I'm going to put one towards that top right, and one I'm going to save for the bottom left. And that is really a great foundation, I find anyway, for my embellishment clusters. Now my title comes from those puffy stickers from the Sunny Days collection. I have it on wax paper. It says explore, enjoy the ride, because this is kind of about a summer drive in the country. And I'm just playing around with placement. I took those fussy cut flowers that I had and I'm placing that in and around that cluster at the top right. And I add part of my title, the banner there, on foam adhesive because I like to pop some stuff up in my clusters. And that one at the bottom, I ended up cutting myself another circle with my Big Shot machine just to reinforce that circle that's going at the bottom of the page, because I wanted to pop that up as well, and it's only on a thinner paper, so having the cardstock underneath it helped reinforce that. And I stuck a flower to the top of it, so I'm happy with that. And now what you see me doing, and the camera stops actually, is I'm just going to use a brayer as well as this stencil by Echo Park called Back to School, just to give me some journaling lines. Anyway, that is my finished layout for this sketch. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to Scrapbooking Quebec. I really appreciate it. And by all means, make sure you check out all the other YouTubers who are participating in this YouTube hop. I put all of their links below, so check them out. Also, don't forget you have until September 2nd to participate in this challenge on this Facebook page. Also, there's a bonus challenge today, so be sure to check that out as well. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.